I was a local news reporter in college, so that's why the podcast thing is always so much fun for me. I love doing the intro over and over again. Sometimes I just do it for myself. All right. Hello and welcome to Make It, Move It, Sell It. On this podcast, I talk with company leaders about how they're modernizing the business of making, moving, and selling products. And of course, having fun along the way. I'm your host, Adam Honig, the CEO of Spiro.ai. We make amazing AI software for companies in the supply chain, but we're not talking about that today. Instead, today, we're talking to Achyut Dhakal, the Senior Vice President of Information Systems of Luxury Brand Partners. LBP, if you're not familiar with them, is a company that develops and nurtures prestige, artist-driven beauty brands. You might have heard of some of their brands like R&Co that you might have seen in the salon, and we're going to ask AD all about that during today's podcast. So welcome to the podcast, AD.
Glad to be here. Thank you very much, Adam, for the quick intro, and glad to be in the Spiro podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much. Now, maybe you could give listeners just a little bit of the backstory on LBP, because it's sort of an unusual business.
Yeah, I would not say unusual, but, maybe for you
in a good way. So like a lot of people on the podcast, we manufacture this widget and we go sell it. But
Right. From a software perspective, yeah, exactly. But again, we LBP, better known as Luxury Brand Partners, not a lot of people probably have heard of, but our brands are famous. We have created famous brands from Orbe Hair Care to Becca Cosmetics, Paul Pride, and now R&Co. And there are other brands in the portfolio like One Size Beauty. We have other like a men ribbon brand V76 and In Common Beauty, IGK Hair, right? There are many brands in our portfolio basically. So the Luxury Brand Partners was started a long time ago, around 2009, I believe. When we started with one brand called Orbe Hair Care. I was not part of the LBP at that point in time, but it was already making a lot of moves in the news and everywhere else, right? So this brand, just as a part of a luxury hair care product, it cropped up everywhere, basically, right? So we kind of did really good on that brand. And I think because of that, and about 1 year later, our CEO, Tiff Finger, actually decided to launch this. Hey, we're good at building brands. Why stick with Orbe only? Let's create more brands, right? So that's why we decided launching other brands as well and create this LBP kind of was formed.
What I think is really interesting is that, you guys, not only do you develop the company, but you develop brands within the company and grow the brands up as part of your core competency.
That's correct. We start every brand from scratch. We do not buy the brands, right? Our business model is mostly each brand has some artists behind it. We create these brands. We have ingredients sourced from multiple places, multiple different things. And then we start bringing sales in, right? We do all the sales. We do all the supply chain and everything. That's our core competency, basically.
And these aren't brands that are found in like Walmart or Target or something like that.
That's a big no for us. So these brands are literally are in top tier salons and prestige salons that are within the United States and also in the international space. So,
right.
So these are not like a Walmart, Costco kind of a brand, basically.
And, a lot of the brands like align with the salons and the stylists too, right? It's part of their offering to their customers is that they have the ability to offer this.
We value salons and we value stylists a lot, basically, right? They are our community. We take them as our part. They are one of us, basically. We just have a great network, great rapport with them. They trust us, right? We trust them. That's behind each and every brand that we have, basically.
Gotcha. So from a sales channel perspective, everything is sold through distribution, but primarily through the high-end salons. Is that right?
Not all the brands. There are certain brands that are done specifically for some of the big retailers focus. Like, for example, one of the brands, One Size Beauty, we specifically sell through Sephora.
Okay.
But again, like many hair care different brands, like, for example, R&Co, there is salon, and R&Co is not sold anywhere else, right, other than salons. And like maybe big retailers like Neiman Marcus, Blue Mercury, and all those places.
Yeah. The high-end retailers.
Correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, within your company, are you guys organized around these brands? So you have different sales teams and different processes around them? Or is
yes, we have each brand, almost like United States of America, right? We have different states, and we're all united together in the core things, right? So the same here. We have brands and their teams around working in each of the brands. There are a specific sales team, there's a specific marketing team, and things like that. But again, the backbone is the same. We all take pride in all of these brands, basically. So we provide, as shared services, we provide support to all of these brands.
That was something I definitely wanted to ask you about, because you're in charge of IT and you're providing services for all the different brands. Does each one have their own unique requirements, or did they,
Correct.
kind of?
Absolutely, yeah. These brands have their own unique requirements, meaning that like some brands, like Primary is sold with field salespeople on the field. Actually, some brands are digitally focused. Some brands are sold just on the internet, basically, right, on e-commerce websites. So there are various types of brands that requires different types of models. But again, I want to focus that, salons are our core customers, basically, and we value them, right? And one of our biggest brands, R&Co, is primarily sold to salons.
And do you get a lot of feedbacks from salons, like what they're looking for, and is that part of the process that you guys follow?
Yes. So we hear what salons have to say. We have like some of the salons that are involved in making decisions on what kind of products should be bringing on the market, right? Should be bringing to the market. And it's all based on that research and develop and feedback, constant feedback back and forth. It's like a family, basically.
Gotcha. Now, as a IT professional, you must be getting a lot of data then about all of these different salons. Is sort of data analysis a big part of what the shared services group provides?
Data analysis is one of the things that we provide. Again, like each salons are independently owned, independently managed, things like that. But we provide better education, right, on our products. We have people going in the salon and teaching the classes to stylists. We have a big education group behind it, like that does some kind of events multiple times a year. And they all come as part of a family and enjoy together, learn together, right? We provide all this education over there. And we get some data, like basically who is selling what and those kind of things. But basically those are for running the businesses and operational perspective.
So, I don't know if we've talked about this before, but my mom worked in a salon.
Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah. And so I have a little bit of knowledge about the salon business, and it strikes me as a very creative, social kind of environment, but maybe not very IT friendly. Is that ever sort of a challenge?
No, we are. I would say, yeah. I mean, it's very creative, and I don't have that creativity on my mind. I can't be as creative as a stylist, basically, right? But what we do is data. We do internet technology and things like that. We try to sit behind and try to make it as seamless as possible for salons, right? And we know, not everybody is tech savvy. Probably people know how to use Facebook and Instagram. That doesn't necessarily mean that everybody knows everything. So we take a lot of feedback from our internal stakeholders, and sometimes we talk to salons directly and then say, hey, what's not working? I mean, some of the times, let's say the browser is caching, right? And we know it's a caching issue. If somebody complains and then tells us that, hey, we're having issues, we're not able to log in and all those things, some of the times we get on the call, actually, believe it or not, and then show them around like, hey, I mean, this is what it is, this can be, resolved by doing this and that and things like that. So you get very personal on that space.
What I'm hearing you say is like trying to provide very easy to use solutions to people. Obviously there's no substitute for like the personal touch, right?
Correct.
Like really being with people. Yeah, that's really interesting. Every time I think of salons, I think about having to support my mom's IT needs, and that's always a big deal.
Yeah, I know. It's sometimes, it requires, again, technology, you keep on updating everything, right? Even like software or apps on the phone that requires constant updates these days. Like even Aspiro, you guys have you guys put probably several updates in a year, right? For that it requires installing the new versions all the time. Same with the browsers. Like we do that on the phone most of the time because it tells you to do, but in the browser, some of the times like it's not updated, right? And some of the features might not work.
Yeah.
In that. So that's a little bit challenging, but again, we love to help, and especially our customers need it. We will be on the phone with them.
Now, I want to pivot the conversation for a minute. I want to talk a little bit about your background. We were talking about this earlier. You come from Nepal originally. I'm sure it wasn't your dream as a young boy to be in the luxury product business, or maybe it was, so how did you wind up, first of all, coming here to the U.S. and then, getting involved in all this industry?
The U.S. was one of the a very rare place in the earth where dream comes true. Like, not because Disney is here, but because of the
You're closer to Disney
environment
than I am, too. Right?
Yeah. but it provides opportunities, right? And also it gives you global visibility.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put it that way, right? So on many things. And again, by nature, my motto is to help people, right? Help solve their problems. That's all in my DNA, basically. So when I came here, one of the things was, let me get an education and try to, and I was a tech side, on totally software developer, coding my things way out. When I came here, I did my MBA, and then in that sense, I learned a lot of things and a lot of culture about here, like how people work and things like that. So whichever industry I am in, I'm always here to help people and always help make best use of the technology. I stumbled upon nice luxury brand partners about in 2014, and it's a very group of nice people, and then very creative and visionary people that I've never worked with creative people in my life, mostly like techie people that I worked in the past, right? But to see the creative side of it, it gives me immense pleasure, actually. Even if mine doesn't work as great as it, but it actually helps me appreciate what the folks bring into the table.
So tell me, one of the things we talk about on this podcast occasionally is something that we call the Amazon effect, which is sort of the ratcheting up of expectations of customers, internal and external, because of the level of service that Amazon provides. Are you seeing any of that in IT?
Yeah, we do see that, because, now I can tell a couple of things. Like, for example, the shipment of products. It used to be, before Amazon, there was no such thing called free shipping. But with the Amazon effect, now we have to provide and match that free shipping. Some of the times we lose money on free shipping, but we got to provide that to be there. And we also, again, we can't beat Amazon. We can't probably become Amazon, right? But in that case, we join hands with Amazon with some of the products. And the only reason we join with Amazon is because there are a lot of duplicate products that are coming into Amazon, people selling there. So in order to preserve our brand identity, we had to shake hands with Amazon. So that's why we had to list our products there too.
So this is really interesting. I want to talk more about this. So did you find that people were counterfeiting your brands, or they were reselling them on Amazon?
They were some were reselling, and some probably were counterfeiting.
Wow, that's amazing. So the strategy that the business took, instead of fighting that, was to join it, essentially.
Yeah, then that way they'd avoid listing all the counterfeiting items there. So we were able to get this cleared out once and for all.
Gotcha. And how was the experience working with Amazon? Did you find it like a good, easy experience, or was it like?
Yeah, we don't really focus on selling. On Amazon, basically. Again, our focus goes back to how to empower salons, right?
Yeah.
That's our main focus. Amazon is just, we join there and we just make our products available there. That's basically what it is. So if somebody wants to buy our products, they can't, and they have an Amazon account and they want to buy it from this, that's okay. They can buy it from there. But we, again, encourage everybody to support the local salons, local business, and get products from them.
Well, without sharing any proprietary information, what is your view on manufacturing abroad versus the U.S.? This is something that comes up quite a bit for our customers. Is most of your products made locally or abroad, or how does that work?
I don't have much visibility into that. Product manufacturing is handled by a totally entire group. I know the technology side of it, but most of the things, I don't think we manufacture anything out of the United States.
Okay.
It's all in the United States. The products the ingredients may be outsourced. We insource from other places. We bring from other places. But everything is done here, and it has to pass certain quality tests and things like that before it goes into customers' hands. So we have products that come from us, and then we use that, right? Even before it goes to the customers, the employee uses that.
Yeah.
So we do that.
Now, I imagine that there's a big focus on quality, right? Because you're selling such a high-end product.
Correct. And then these are, one thing for sure is there are sustainability movement these days, right? And then not only that, there is a animal-free product, right? So those kind of things we try to incorporate in each and every product. So I think we have achieved that level and again, paraben-free, SLS-free, those had been already in our products from the get-go, very, very long time. We're moving with what's environmentally sustainable. Actually, in one of R&Co has one of the luxury line as well, called R&Co Blue. That actually comes with inside a seed packet. So even if you discard that packet somewhere, it grows into a nice plant.
Oh, that's nice.
A nice tree, yeah. So and all the packagings, I mean, those are biodegradable, right? So a lot of things, when product development team works with the leadership team, they actually take this in like very, very seriously.
So that's super interesting. So even the packaging will grow a plant. That's amazing.
Correct.
I mean, if Amazon was doing that, we'd be living in a forest right now, right?
We will have another real Amazon, right?
That's a really good way of thinking about it. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Right.
Yeah, no, I think we should be encouraging a lot of people to take that kind of approach. And so from a testing perspective and everything like that, so all cruelty free. So there's a lot, because you have all the artists involved in developing the product. So they must be very focused on those kind of issues too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Cool. What else are you seeing, within, your view of the market that's coming up? I know we talk with a lot of our guests about artificial intelligence and how that's kind of playing out. Do you see salons starting to use AI, or are you guys experimenting with that in the business at all?
So we try to incorporate some of those into the software and services we partner with. And again, like AI has been in our focus since 6-7 years back, not actually just using AI for the sake of using AI, but actually give a meaning to like what can it help, right? So for example, in some of the cases, there's a color shader finder we have in the system that actually works using AI. There is one of the brands using the live video cam, and on top of that, you can choose a shade and it turns it here into different color, right?
So you can actually recolor your hair?
right.
That's amazing.
So not color, what the style, the hairstyle. And one of the brands is the beauty focused brand had like different shades that was built into that. So we experiment a lot in terms of those things and see how people use it. And the same with Spiro, right? We wanted to get into Spiro, not because it has a word AI. Actually, after talking with some guys, I just wanted to see how can it help us? I'm not interested in AI because it has AI in it, but I want to see how can it help the field sales become more efficient and using the AI itself, right? So that was our main focus. Yeah.
As technologists, sometimes we get very focused on the how and not the why. And what you're saying is, no, we really got to figure out like, why do we need this stuff? That's correct. Sort of the key. Absolutely. Yeah. I love this idea of using AI in product development too. Predict, what different people are going to think about products, or in your case, how it might work on their hair. Or I'm sure even at the molecular level, there's people out there who are looking at AI that way.
Yeah, we work with manufacturers, like the scientists that work with day and night on this kind of things. I mean, again, we're not the expert on that ourselves, and being a tech guy, I know nothing about molecules, right? But we work with many emerging scientists and researchers on that.
Yeah, no, those molecules, they're everywhere, man. No matter where you look, it just keeps going up. That's what I know about molecules.
Absolutely,
but, yeah. I should have spent more time in science class. I think that's sort of the takeaway for me here. Well, listen, AD, this has been awesome. It's so great to have you on the podcast. I'm sure people are really, interested in learning about how you think about luxury products and working with salons. It's a super great business you guys are in. So I really, really appreciate your coming on the podcast.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime, Adam. And I really appreciate you hearing our story and then, getting the words out there. And also, grateful to be one of our software vendors for the field sales, and they're making really, really good use of your software.
Thank you. That's great to hear. So, as a reminder for listeners, you can find every episode of the Make It, Move It, Sell It podcast at spiro.ai/podcast. AD, I kind of feel like people should give this recording a good rating. What do you think? Should we tell people to do that?
I'm not bribing anybody to give any ratings or anything like that. But again, what I'm saying is, if you feel you liked it, definitely would love your feedback. And then again, I'm open ears, right? Anytime you want to talk with me on anything like that, I'm all there for you.
Right on. Well, listen, I really appreciate your being here, and everybody who's listening, thank you so much for tuning in, and we look forward to the next episode.